Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, it's Thursday morning, and ain't God good? And won't He do it? Oh, yes, He will. Oh, yes, He will. I know my listeners probably saying, Lee Craft, Lee Craft, Lee Craft. You say the same thing every morning. I'm going to say Enoch, Ewok, Enoch. That means y'all sure know what to say. Look, it's Thursday morning, right? And I want to give a very special shout out to a Jim Dixon. Jim Dixon, he found my wallet. I lost my wallet the other day. My wife and I we went to Lenny's to get a sub, a Philly cheesesteak, and hey, it is what it is. But before we get started, if you have any comments or concerns, please email me at leecraftwhatif@gmail.com or go to Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, all those beautiful apps. Look for the animated black man with a white beard, smiling and profiling, and finally relate. Y'all trying to size me up. Yeah. Yesterday I was in my studio and I was, you're just doing some things, and I looked at Facebook and I looked at Messenger. So I got a message from some, I can't think of the name, the gentleman's name, but it's an alias name. It's an AKA that he uses for the dummy account. And it said, call me. I got something to you. I said, you know what? I'm not that literate for it on social media. So my niece told me that sometimes you open up certain things, they could, I guess what would you call it? He could take over your account. That's not the right word, but the only word I got for this morning. If you know what I mean. But look, so he he came by the house, and the ring camera went off. Like I guess I had dozed off, and my daughter answered the ring camera and said and talked to him for a minute, and she told him to put it in the mailbox. He said, "No, I'm not gonna put it in the mailbox." She said, "Well, put it, by the door up under the little water hose thing." And that's what he did. So after that, I looked on the ring camera and I called him. I said, "Man," I said, he said, "Lee," he said, "I know you, man. I used to live on that street, right, adjacent to your house, your street." I said, "Really?" I said, "I had the silver truck." So, "Oh man, I know you." What? I said, "I know you." I said, I seen him. I always speak to him when you're driving by. I never really had a conversation with him, but every time I drive by, I always speak and everything. He said, "Man," he said, "when he found my wallet, he said, I know this guy because this the area that I used to live at." So he brought my wallet to me. I said, "Man, what do I owe you for that?" He said, "Man, you don't owe me nothing." He said, "I want somebody to do me the same exact way." And we just got to talking for a minute. I said, "Man, how you been doing?" He said, "Man, Lee, I'm doing good. What everything's going on." I said, I'm doing great." So I'm glad to hear that, man. And I said, "Man, what do I owe you?" He said, "Lee, you don't owe me anything. I was just happy to do it." And I said it to say this, you never know how you get your blessings back, because I didn't have much money in my wallet. You know, it, the hard thing is what going to. I got to replace your license. I go down to the DMV and wait in that long line, and they play games down there in the DMV, or you got to call your credit cards and cancel your credit cards. Because then again, I don't want to cancel no credit card because they can't steal $1, can they? I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But no, Jim, I want to tell you thank you, man. Because I said, that's integrity, man. For one, no matter what I had in my wallet, you still could have took that and just tossed the wallet somewhere else, and I never known anything. But I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and I have done the same thing before. I've done it at a bank. When I withdrew some money, the cashier gave me $200 extra. And I said, hey. I said, "You gave me too much money." She said, "No, I didn't." I said, "Yes, you did." So I did. So I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna come inside the bank. So I went inside the bank and I showed her. She said, "Thank you." She had tears in her eyes. She said, "Thank you," because I know that she could have lost her job for that. For draw come up short $200. That's a flag. And people said, "Lee Craft, why you getting money back?" That was a blessing. A blessing for who? That wasn't no blessing for me, man. If I know where it came from, a blessing if I find $200 with nobody and not in nobody's wallet, just on the ground. That's a blessing, And if somebody say, "Hey, man, you seen some money?" How much was it? $200. Oh, now they gave back. Let me tell you a story. Mr. Dixon, dude, thank you, man. Like I said, because it's hard to. Well, you know what? It just made me realize that there's still a lot of good people out there in the world. Everybody's not bad. Just gotta build a relationship with people. and do people right, and it'll come back to you tenfold. I'm gonna tell you this story about this why you work this place, right? And this lady, she lost her money, lost her car note money. It's probably about what, I think $400 some dollars, right? And had a guy named Rainey. He was driving a sweeper, and Rainey, I'm pretty sure he probably, driving all over. He probably gonna find a lot of different things. So, right? I said, Rainey. I said, you see the money? He said, no, crap, I ain't see no money. So I said, okay, cool. Now, let me back up. Make sure I tell the story correctly. Like my kids always say, Daddy, you're not a good storyteller. And they're not lying. Because I got to, man, go back and forth. If you read my book, you probably got to read page number 1, go to page number 2, and number 2 should be in page number 3, and something like that, if you know what I mean. But anyway, though, me and Rainey, not Raymond, but Rainey had a good relationship, right? So I used to do certain things for Rainey. I used to, so my wife cook a little extra food. I bring something, get Rainey something. I brought snacks, I get Rainey something, all that kind of thing. And she told me, thank you, crap. Give him a ride home, all those things. And this young lady, she had a problem with me. I didn't do anything to her. Sometimes people just don't like you, just don't like you, right? And no fault of my own. So when people treat you bad, you shouldn't mistreat them. Just, it's okay, I understand. Just keep everything moving. So when I asked Rainey that about the money, right? Rainey came back to me and she said, Kraft. I said, what's going on, man? He said, Kraft, I found that money. So I'm going to give it back to her, And he said, I wasn't going to give it to you to get back to her, so I'm going to give it back to her. He knew the woman didn't care for me, right? And so he did. He gave her money back. And she came to me and hugged me and said, Lee, I'm sorry. I said, it's okay. I said, we're good, But see, just think if I would have been that kind of guy, right? And just say, you know what, man, screw her, forget that. But I wasn't. And my relationship with Rainey blessed her. You follow me? Because he said, crap, look at my eyes. What's wrong? He said, I've been back there talking to God and I've been crying. Because he said, I didn't want to get the money back. I said, I understand. Well, I'm glad you did. He said, no, crap, man, it's doing the right thing, man. He said, you say this all the time in every meeting, man, about doing the right thing and stuff. And like I said, man, I'm trying to do better. But that's why I want to give Mr. Dixon a shout out, Jim Dixon a shout out, because like I said, the world has a lot of people that would take that and say, hey, that's my blessing. God sent me a blessing, and knowing that that's somebody's money that they lost, especially inside of a workplace. You know what I'm saying? Inside a workplace, and they could give you the exact count that it was. So I know, and just I'm just ecstatic about that. So people, so like I said, oh yeah, before I forget, be mindful. No matter what you're going through, I can guarantee you one thing: it's going to be okay as long as you make God a part of your life. That's the what if guarantee. That's what if guarantee. So, like I said, you got to give people the flowers while they're living. Because like I said, the message that I tell on a daily basis is to let you know that, hey, the same thing happened to me could happen to you too. And if you go through life always being angry at those who mistreat you, you have a long life to live. Because I guarantee you, sometimes you might have a whole week of people mistreating you. What are you going to do then? You going to mistreat others because they mistreated you? No. Just got to say, God, I thank you. And please show them the light. Because I don't want to fight. Do that sound right? It's rhyme time, man. But no, that's all I'm saying, people. Like I said, you just got to always look for that silver lining. And like I said, Jim Dixon, like I said, hey, I thank you for what you did for me. And like I said, keep me from having that headache of getting to wake up in the morning. What do I do my bill for? I know it's around somewhere. What? Did I leave it in the car? Looking through the content in the car, doing all those things, come find out I lost it. I misplaced it. Where all these charges come from? Baby, you went to the Bahamas? Well, no, she went to the Bahamas. She I'm just playing, because hey, God is good. God is good. So, like I said, people, with that being said, like I said, thank you, Jim Dixon, again, for doing what you did. Like I said, hopefully we'll meet again, and I'll see you out. I'll buy you some lunch. Where we at, I'm trying to buy you something, so we sit down and just laugh for a minute. Just laugh, because I promise you, man, like I said, I never met a stranger, and everybody I come in encounter, I always speak to everybody. My wife said, man, are you a politician? No, I'm not a politician, baby. I'm just a guy with a good heart. Because sometimes you might make somebody's day by just waving and say, hey, good morning, how you doing? Or good afternoon, how you doing? You never know who day you're going to make. Because everybody's going through something. Either they're coming out of it or going into it. They're dealing with something. So it's our job, wherever we go, is just to speak. Hey, how you doing? It doesn't. What does it cost you? Nothing. Not a doggone thing. So with that being said, then Lee Craft. This is my podcast. What if you have any comments or concerns, please email me at leecraftwhatif@gmail.com. One band, one sound. Together, we got an opportunity to turn this whole world around. But in order to have a real conversation, you got to have real people if you want to have a real conversation. Have a blessed day. And please find time to make time to tell God thank you.